our new speaker, our next speaker from QRO-MEX, discussing about the accountability experience. Good morning, Jose Eduardo Villasis.
Hello, Janice. My name is Jose Eduardo, but I go by Pepe. Pepe is my professional brand. Welcome to all of you to this short seminar or talk regarding accountability, specifically the accountability experience, which is a program we have been developing with QRO-MEX in Tijuana for 5 or 6 years now, with several companies in the borderline trying to improve their performance through their people. Thank you for letting me know all of these interesting professional topics that you handle with. This is far away from my field, but has been very interesting to listen to all the previous presenters and being able now to balance the subjects to this more human leadership approach regarding accountability. My name is Coach Pepe Villasis. I've been working in the professional coaching field for 17 years, after 17 years of working in the corporate world. I live in Querétaro, Mexico. I'm here in Querétaro now again. So if you have been here before, you know that it's a very nice city, Querétaro, Mexico. And working with several companies in this specific program regarding accountability. Let me tell you the following. What is accountability in this corporate leadership approach? Accountability is a way of living our lives, our personal lives in the first time, so you can live two things that in our culture, especially in Mexico, are very tough in our culture, are very absent in our culture. One is self-empowerment, autonomy. We want people and teams to be autonomous, not to depend on their supervisors, on their managers. The managers, of course, they have their role to perform, but we don't want teams to be depending on them to solving everyday problems, to helping them at every moment. We say in this program, we don't want managers to be babysitters of their teams. And the other part that we work in accountability is learning to be 100% responsible, at least in our culture. When things go right, we are very responsible. Many hands will raise to say, I am part of this success. But again, in our culture, and also this is a human way of acting. When things don't go well, when there's mistakes, when there's fails, when we don't get the results, most people, they remain silent. They hide problems sometimes so they don't get the responsibility. And after that, the most common reaction is blaming others, and inventing, creating justifications, excuses with a high level of creativity. And all of this because they are used in our culture. Our culture is used of the washing hands, avoiding responsibility, avoiding even taking decisions, because taking decisions involve responsibility. So when we build this way of working in the organizations based on the congruency of the leadership team, we see a very interesting change. We see better productivity. For example, all of the KPIs that relate with the use of resources of the company. For example, scrap, which is a very costly problem in the companies, even in services, not to say in manufacturing. It improves a lot because people feel different for the company. They see themselves different, and it starts even impacting in the measurable part of the business. So the three foundations of accountability that I wanted to share with you. The first part, of course, is mindset, is the way that people think. So we have to educate them, but not in a harsh way, it with love. You have to understand where people come from, what types of lives they have had, that they have the mindset they have when they arrive to our companies. So we have to educate them, uh, set up a very clear culture in our companies that uh, compensate, that rewards accountability, and not the contrary, as sometimes happen. And we need to establish the attitudes, the behaviors that we expect in the company. That's the first part. But the second part is also very important, which is having solid processes and good management skills in all levels of management, so they are able to give clarity to the people. If people want to be accountable, want to be proactive, self-empowered, but they have bad managers, and I'm saying vice presidents, directors, general managers, and supervisors, even supervisors. If they are not good bosses, let me tell you that way, they provide, what they give to the teams is confusion, obscurity instead of clarity. So when there's no clarity, what it's above the table, on the table, is excuses, justifications, and the people that don't want to be accountable, which is the larger part of our populations in our companies. They win this war. This war of accountability has to be won by the company and the good people that we educate their mindset, and providing them the very clear way of working through solid processes and management skills. And there's also some tools that we teach in the trainings and in the coaching that comes later, uh, that help to build some habits of accountability. We identify some specific accountability high stake points or moments, and we have to learn how to handle that in a training way. So when it comes the difficult moment of accountability, people get used, most of the people at least, or some of the people get used to react in the right way. These three solid foundations of accountability have to be accompanied, have to be together with two important success factors, which is the congruency of the leaders. If the leaders are not congruent to what they expect from their people, it will fall apart. And the other part is a system of consequences. I mean, I'm not saying that we have to be too harsh with the people, but at some point, you educate, you coach, you motivate, you empower. But if some people don't want to be accountable, they cannot be in the company, because it destroys all the effort that you are doing to change the culture of your company. So in the short time we have, just go through the slides, please, Janice. So the first part, mindset, culture, attitudes, is based on this formula that you have to keep in mind always, because we are people. It's not only about the work, is about what our thoughts, our mindset, our mental models. So we have to work with the be in order to impact in the do and have different results. Next, please. And regarding the idea that I want you to take away with you today is this: above and below the line. You have to commit yourself with your example and teach and educate your people with your example, mainly, to be always be owner of the results. They have to be responsible of their actions, and believe in the deep in their hearts that their results depend on them, and give up to this usual way of acting, which is as a victim, always blaming, excuses, denial. This is very, very powerful for your leadership, for changing the mindset of yourselves and your people. And when you dignify this way of acting in your company, people start following. There will be some that won't, but most people are good inside, and you guide them through these type of values, so they have a better thought be, do, and have in the company. Next, please, Janice. Your congruency is very important. We told that. You will see in the presentation afterwards some remarks on that. Go ahead, please. And also, always, at the end of every day, please ask yourself, what is the example I am giving to my team? You cannot expect your people to perform or behave different of what they see in yourself. So this type of mindset changing, realigning of mindset has to be supported by your right example. Go ahead, please. And then shortly, let us talk what type of skills do you have to teach to your managers so they are able to give clarity. The first one is, of course, interpersonal communication, being a smart communicator, always think before talk, think before communicate, smart communication, and always verify comprehension after the communication. This is the short tip I want for you to take home today. Always think before acting in communication. Communicate smart and always verify comprehension. Next one, please. We also have to learn to work in a team and build teams, and especially the rules of the game of a team. Each team has to be very clear in who is accountable for what, how performance is measured, who makes what decisions in the team, basic processes in written, and contact points defined. We work on this, and people know how to establish order in their work. And the last part important is having a strong leadership, versatile leadership, flexible leadership. And what we introduce in the companies through workshops and coaching is this leadership styles management, which amplify their impact as leaders. So with these two foundations, mentality, mindset, and skills, we start to see very interesting things in the companies. This is accountability. Please go ahead, the last part. In the methodology, the only idea I want to transmit is accountability is like a cycle, is like a wheel. First is, if somebody asks you to do something, to make a commitment, the first part is responsibility. When you decide to get the commitment, to say yes, because you can say no. You have to learn to say no. When you say yes, is the first part of accountability. Self-empowerment, proactivity is the second part of the wheel. And the third one is accountability. I will always show my face. I will be always answering for the outcomes of my work. Even if they are good or bad, I will always give my word. I will always give my results. I will always render to the people who I commit to. If I have this clear cycle in my mind, commitment, accountability, self-empowerment, and accountability, I will be more successful. But the requisite, the very important part of accountability is clear agreements. This is why we need clear processes and good bosses, good managers, good directors that are able to give clarity instead of confusion to the people. So it's not that difficult. You have to believe that it will work, start working with it, so people get commitment, proactivity, and responsibility. And incredibly, it works in our culture and also worked in several cultures regarding in the world. As a matter of fact, I got my certification of this in the United States. So remember, the lack of accountability, how much money and cost is costing you actually. And this is the accountability experience in a short part. I represent Grupo Consultor F from Tijuana. I proudly represent Grupo Consultor F from Tijuana. and you can contact them through this organization, through Ligia, through Janice, and we will be able. I'm very happy to know about you. Thank you very much. This is my part, Janice.
Thank you so much, Coach Pepe. Really, really good information. And I just wanted to ask you, in your perspective now with COVID and how companies had to forcefully change their way of working, home office, and kind of separating the teams, what are just some of your quick recommendations on how we can continue to practice this concept?
Correct. The way we are working now is a reflect of the way we worked before. If before we didn't have trust in our team, we didn't give the right example, we didn't have a clear processes and good management. Now we are paying the price. So I must say the following. We are working already with companies in the distance, on remote way of this part of accountability, because they realize that if this was important before, now is essential. This type of values, this type of unifying thoughts and beliefs and purpose will keep the people together. And the idea of everyone being responsible, being accountable, and creating a togetherness and creating the necessary clarity to give results is very good. People understand that, and we've been using this to motivate, to enhance now the way people is feeling in the companies.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your information, for your insight and your opinions, Coach Pepe. We appreciate your participation in this month's WMTA.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.